Howdy, 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 my name's Anachi Sasuke, and welcome back to Prequel, or Making a Cat Cry the Adventure. The last time I read some Prequel, which was a while ago, I ran out of comic. However, I've been informed that there are side comics. Oh, here they are, side stories. They said it was right up under the boopin'. Boop. So let's check out these side stories. Let's see. By clicking the link on the sidebar Nobody Looks At, you have found the Secret Side Stories page. To reward your adventuresome spirit, here are some extra little stories that have been created over the years. They are mostly about Argonians. It is recommended that you read the comic before reading these. Without that context, they might be really weird. Actually, they might make them more fun. Go for it. So we have Mikhail Quest. A brief exchange in the old comments threads about whether or not Asato had unknowingly taken a bite of the poisoned apple inspired me to illustrate a little non-canon update demonstrating the speed at which poisoned apples work. It was inspired by a comment left by the user Mikhail. Alright, let's see how this goes then. Bibliophile wrote, Tamriel's poisoned apples are incredibly deadly. Within seconds of consuming the smallest amount, you are dead. I feel it unlikely then that Sotil has either successfully immunized himself or eaten a bite of the wrong apple. I could be wrong, of course. Mikhail wrote, Sounds about right. Considering how acquainted I am with those damned apples, I keep pressing Control plus quick click, which makes me eat them myself instead of Shift click to drop them. I was always curious what they thought to find a dead guy in their dining room. You are now Mikhail's Oblivion character. You are performing an assassination, and this requires you to place a poisoned apple on this table. All you have to do is put the apple down without eating it. For any normal person, this will be a trivial task, but you are an adventurer. Everything is a federal fucking issue for you. Anyway, this apple, you just have to move your arm towards the table and... Whoops! Where did it go? Haha! Yeah, you fucked up. You can no longer be Mikhail's Oblivion character because Mikhail's Oblivion character's insides have been liquefied. Okay. Quillweave research. I decided I was going to win a t-shirt design contest. For some people this would involve making a really good design. For me it involved asking thousands of readers to vote. Whoops. This update was created as a reward for anyone who signed in to rate the designs and occurs concurrently with this update except from Quillweave's point of view. And which update is that? I burped, sorry. Okie dokie. Quillweave research. You are now Quillweave. Fakely Mick Suggester wrote, Quillweave expatiate. Nice word. Anyway, after spending all of yesterday cooped up in your house poring over old historical documents from the Remen dynasty, you've decided to get out and perform some first-hand research for your upcoming historical fiction series, Path of the Doomstones. As the name would imply, the series revolves around the Doomstones, the 21 ancient stone monoliths scattered throughout Cyrodiil. The monuments themselves date back to the First Era, and most of them are named after constellations. Popular myth holds that the Doomstones harbor great magical power. Like most popular myth, you expect this to be complete bullshit. However, you do pride yourselves on the historical accuracy of your work, and given that one of these Doomstones was apparently pissing distance from your house, you pretty much had no excuse not to check it out. If it turns out these Doomstones actually do hold some kind of magical power, your entire historical fiction series was built on the assumption that they are just rocks. It's going to look pretty silly. No worse. It will look like fantasy. And so here you are, at what, according to your research, is known as the Lady's Stone. Or frankly, you'd rather be doing something else. Maybe going bar oscillating, that's bar hopping in a shitty port town with only 2 bars. Or writing the 19th draft of that meandering and incoherent letter you've been meaning to send up to Coral on the next available courier, but no, you have an authorial obligation to determine that this rock is not magical. There certainly doesn't look to be anything magical about it. It looks like a fucking rock. Obvious command giver wrote, Don't kick it with your foot. Try placing your hand on the Doomstone surface. Yes, after centuries of mystery surrounding these stones, it turns out all someone had to do to activate their powers was touch them. But no, really, nothing happens. It feels like a fucking rock. Horrible roleplayer wrote, In my homeland of Skyrim, I have encountered many of a devious trap or doorway, triggered by physical force. Wield yon bow, yon wizard, and treat thou stone to arrow feast. It's worth a shot. You're here to discount possibilities after all. There are no obvious targets or anything on the Doomstone to shoot at, but if they made it that tall, any magical trigger will probably be near the top, out of reach of animals and the like. You're not the best shot, but a couple of arrows to the top parts of the stone shouldn't be a problem. Boop. Boop. Think. Is it going to do something, or just... Nobody was around to see you do that, and you will never be able to repeat it, ever. Regardless, the Doomstone remains non-responsive. Adventure Gamer wrote, "What about all those chain things around you? Maybe you have to do something with them to activate the Doomstone." They look like regular hanging chains. There doesn't seem to be any kind of pulley mechanism, meaning there's probably no tedious guesswork-heavy chain pulling puzzle, which you're thankful for. Shit like that is why you left Justin's D&D group. You guess there's still could be some kind of magical trigger built into the chains, but without knowing the enchanter or his motivations, there'd be no way to tell what you need to do. Fakely Mixed Suggester wrote, "Quillweave, this is the Lady Stone, right? Perhaps some old-timey damsels in distress were chained up there, and the stone would activate after noble heroes came and rescued them. There aren't enough people here to stage any actual daring rescues, so you'd just end up playing all the roles yourself. After kidnapping yourself and chaining yourself to a pillar for an evil sacrifice, you dramatically burst into the stone circle at the last moment and defeat yourself, rescuing you and freeing her from captivity, after which the one of you stroll off into the sunset. The whole thing is incredibly silly. The Doomstone remains unimpressed by your performance. But no, really, you're only a few hundred feet from the coast. These pillars were probably for chaining up boats or something." Italian Argonian wrote, "So chain a boat to it." You didn't expect that to actually do anything, but you've always wanted to use that useless skill for something. Adventure Gamer wrote, "Inspect those runes. They could hold a clue." The runes, as far as you're able to tell, are a bunch of meaningless scribbles. In all your secondhand research, you haven't found so much as a translation or even interpretation of them. Their only noteworthy feature is apparently that they are phosphorescent red, and you'll just have to take the book's word on that one. Colorful Horse wrote, "Kiss the Doomstone!" Oh, sweet. Colorful Horse 6. I wonder if there's 5 other ones. What? It's the Lady Stone. Protagonists, the typical recipients of magical powers, always kiss the lady at the end of the story. Italian Argoni wrote, "In some cultures, kissing certain rocks is considered good luck." Counterpoint, it's a fucking rock. Colorful Horse 6 wrote, "Are you shirking your writerly research duties?" Scrape. Despite prohibitive facial anatomy, you give it your all and passionately make out with the Doomstone. It tastes like a fucking rock, and, unsurprisingly, accomplishes a net total of absolutely nothing. Regular Reader wrote, "Well, we've used parkour on the Doomstone." You can't just put... After about an hour of hopping from pillar to pillar, you finally managed to surmount the Doomstone. Even wearing a skirt, you are the queen of jumping. It's you. The Doomstone, being an inanimate and non-magical piece of rock, remains stoically unimpressed by your feat. Adventure Gamer wrote, "Maybe you should just wait until nighttime and see if the time of day has any effect." May as well. You brought dinner with you. And you guess it would make sense, a stone named after a constellation only working when the constellations are visible. As you wait, your thoughts drift back to Katia. They've been doing that a lot lately, something you blame on the fact that you certainly could have met her under less memorable circumstances. Your friends already poke fun at you for handing out charity like a priest of Mara hands out religious pamphlets, but really, you're just a sucker for happy endings. Not that you'd ever let your peers in the writing community know that. Katia was someone who seemed like she really needed your help. Wherever she is right now, you hope she's doing okay. And not about to do something incredibly stupid. Well, time flies when you're sitting on a 15-foot monolith and consuming a copious amount of rum and chocolate dipped apples. It's a cloudless night and the stars and moons are out in full force. Prime conditions for the operation of a constellation-powered Doomstone, if that's what this is. Stuck that superhero landing like a boss, despite the copious amounts of rum. Well, nothing. I guess it's time to call it a night. Horrible roleplayer wrote, "With the sun gone to lighter lands, it is time to reassess those triggers, friend Argonian. Draw yon bow." Adventure Gamer wrote, "The chain puzzle might only work under starlight. You should check those again." Fakely Mixed Suggester wrote, "Now that the stars are out, you should give the dramatic rescue scene another shot. Maybe they have to witness it." Italian Argonian wrote, "Is your origami boat still secure? Didn't fall off the chain, did it?" Colorful Horse wrote, "Kiss the Doomstone again! Everyone knows nighttime is when all the passionate kisses happen." Okay, so I guess that's it for this comic. Skabop! Next up, Quill, we've taken control of the situation. For round 2 of the t-shirt contest, I created an update that gradually revealed itself as more people voted for my design. This update occurs concurrently with this one, but from Quilby's point of view. Open in a new window, which update? Where are we? No mood for heroics. Terrible day. But okay, it's that update. Take control of the situation. Do-do-do. Do-do-do. The cave is dark and gloomy, its thick atmosphere sending a bone-shattering chill down your spine. As you descend into its depths, the room opens up before you into a dead-end rectangular chamber. Its ground tiled with small squares of stone, each little more than a foot in width. The 6 tiles nearest to you have no apparent binding between them, almost as if they are meant to be pressed. I begin examining the tiles for any modicum of information as to what we're supposed to do with them. Eloquent search uncovers that the tiles are square and tiles. Whatever device is under them is concealed from sight, and they look too sturdy to remove. I roll for Arcana, 20. The wizard Skralsk senses no magic coming from the tiles. Whatever mysterious and exciting puzzle device is underneath these 6 tiles, it is either purely mechanical or its magic is strongly concealed. Maybe you should push one. And Argonian wrote, "This DM is my spirit animal. Solve his wondrous puzzle, Quillweave." I pushed the far left tile in your goddamn puzzle. Nothing Screw this! Screw you! I'm gonna get wasted, you grumble. Fakely Mixed Suggester wrote, "Exposit on current situation. Thus far, your attempt to distract yourself from some recent events in your life has been an utter failure. Entertainment and human interaction was apparently insufficient for your distraction purposes, so it's time to fall back to Plan B. Plan B is just a ton of alcohol. Wilbur, give me 15 more of those Nord ales. I'm pretty sure that will kill you, he bitches. I'm an Argonian, you racist fuckwit. 15 is like the bare minimum to pass out on the floor and piss myself. You're not putting together a very good case here. Yes, putting together a case is what you're supposed to be doing. Hop to it. Quill, are you moping? No, you say. Is this about your friend in Coral? No, you lie. No, come on, you're acting like a hatchling. You spend enough time locked up in that box of fruit and booze you call a house. Go play with your friends. I tried that, it's not helping. It's booze time now. Booze o'clock. I now know that Argonians have an accent, but I haven't heard it in a while, so it's not happening. Booze o'clock can come when you need booze o'clock. Right now, you need to get up and stop being a mopey aquatic stick in the mud. That's what she said. Really, Quill? 3 bottles of ale and we're already at that's what she said? No, I mean, that's literally what... Never mind. Wilbur sighs deeply. How about this? If you're going to mobile my counter drink alone, at least spring for something you like. We both know these bottled Nord ales are shit. What do you really want? Tiny words. What was that? A painkiller? He almost smiles. I'll have to juice a pineapple, but I can do that. Why would a pineapple have painkillers? No funny business, though. I'm still not letting go of this counter until I'm too smashed to walk away. Self-righteous Redguard prick. You grumble some more vague obscenities under your breath as you watch him head off. You're not moping. You're just taking a small and much-deserved break from dealing with the world and your dumb problems therein. This world can wait. You're clinging to this countertop now. And until you are properly intoxicated, absolutely nothing in the world will get you to let go of it. Fucking score! I just found the classy bar. Hello, handsome hair. Guess how many times I've had sex in the last 20 minutes? Here's a hint. It's a number between 0 and affinity. And it's not affinity or necessarily 0. Is there anything I can do for you? Wilbur asks stoically. Why, it's fortunate that you asked, my Sir Good. It would just so happen I'm in the market for a drink, preferably of the free variety, as this current bottle I was so kindly supplied has nearly reached its empty. I'm afraid everything here costs money unless I could interest you in a glass of... Well, that's the cat's pajamas, because I would also be willing to work for a drink. You just have to find something this worthless whore is wood at, and I'll work that tab away. Here's a hint, it's probably sexual favors. You'll be back. I'm fucking blown. We don't know each other well enough for you to leave forever yet. You'll find something you want me to do, and I'll rock you. You'll find something I can do, and I won't be complete. Ooh, you wouldn't know look at me, but I'm actually pretty good with a yo-yo. Also, penises. Like, I just want to get that out there in case it sounded like the yo-yo was a metaphor, because it's not. I'm like legit okay at that. Is she just walking across Quillweave? Oh, well, hello there. You like someone more interested than Mr. Bartender bartending over here? Can I interest you in a drink? I mean, the other way around. Is this an intervention, you ask? Or, is this an intervention, you ask? Is this supposed to show me where my life is headed and scare me into sobriety? Wilbur shrugs. No, actually, this is completely unplanned, but if it worked... You still want your god-awful fruity drink? Depends. Are you still refusing to get me those 15 bottles of ale? Point taken. Colorful Horse 6 wrote, so this cat girl, you should make out with this girl. All of my fan fiction has told me that it is meant to be. What? Ignoring the whole fact that you're in a kind of the weird drink your problems away place right now with regard to romance. First of all, she is clearly drunk as hell. Second, you have no idea where that mouth has been. Third, she's a Khajiit, and you're pretty sure deep down you're at least a little racist. And fourth, you doubt she'd be particularly receptive to your advances given what she said before and what she's trying to do with Gorgo right now. You're not sure why this line of thought would even come up. Colorful Horse 6 wrote, she can be totally into ladies too! You never know unless you approach her about it! You like and appreciate how this command ignores every piece of reasoning except for the weakest one. You have no interest and you're sure she'd have no interest either. Colorful Horse 6 wrote, but how do you know she'd have no interest? You almost forgot you could do this, but you switch on your gaydar. Don't you backsass me, medicine. Well, that settles that. You can stop it, medicine. You can now happily and permanently put to rest every stupid and unlikely scenario in which this random nameless cat ends up in your bed, because it will never happen no matter what. Really nice acrobatics, though. How did she get to the chandelier? Well, she seems to be doing a handstand at the chandelier. Were you just using your... Just get me my drink. Where did the unicorn come from? Oh, right, that unicorn. Whoosh! I am now flying out of the bar and flat on their asses. Wait, no, I got that joke wrong. Pineapple! Anyone have a pineapple? I've got this great party trick. It was a real hit back in the last place I fucked everything up and everything. But I need a pineapple. It's great. And that... Oh, hello again. Yuka Norn? Italian Argonian wrote, aren't you going to follow her? She might be one pineapple away from doing something impressive. Aren't you curious? No. You are perfectly content to stare at this wooden countertop until it's getting plaster time. You harbor no curiosity regarding the nonsensical sequence of events that have transpired around you. You are just going to sit here and deal. Colorful Horse 6 wrote, so I gather that you had some kind of fight disagreement with your friend in Coral, and now you're here, moping, totally are, in a bar, and passing up interesting / baffling / life-changing experiences. Did you consider that these kinds of reactions might have been what your friend meant when she purportedly called you a stick in the mud? Probably, and that doesn't make you feel any better about confronting the world again knowing she's right about you. So you're just going to lay here and be a misanthropic stick in the mud, and then later you'll write a book about people who are more adventurous than you, publish it, and make millions. Again. Horrible roleplayer wrote, a wise non-wizard of my world once said, an object at rest will stay at rest until a force is applied. Perhaps, yawned Argonian, that is where thou stand, caught in a slump or cycle, and unwilling to apply the force to break it. You're hurting, Argonian, and your friend, I bet, was hurting too when you disagreed with her on whatever. Maybe it is time for a change, if you want things to change for the better. Perhaps it's time to stop being a stick in the mud. Maybe thou must go a little crazy, and everything you do will turn to gold. That sounds cheesy, stupid, and you hate yourself for thinking it. Quill, where did you... Pineapple! I have a pineapple! I have a fucking pineapple, you reiterate. What were you going to do with it? Oh, well, it's pretty great, and I've been told it looks almost impossible, but I probably maybe don't think it's something you'd be interested. Try me. Let's take this pineapple and go back to the bar, because I am taking control of my life. I've stopped being a stick in the mud, and I want to see what the hell you could possibly do with a pineapple. Oh, well, if that's the case, Akaji says that she accepts your spiky fruit. But nah, buildings are redundant. It's like, why do we need a second sky made of wood? Also, over here seems like a good place, and I could totally make all the friends. Wait, like, over there, you asked? There are a lot of people around here, and... Oh! You suddenly feel like your attempt at taking control may have only further exacerbated this situation. It seems that the Fort... Wilbur concedes that, yeah, it is probably booze o'clock for you now. Yeah, we're probably never going to find out what that pineapple did, but how many more of these are there? Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3... We got 4 more prequels, or prequel side stories, and in the interest of actually having another episode of Prequel, I'm going to stop here and do those some other time. So, this has been Anashi Sasuke. This was Let's Read Some Prequel Side Stories. I don't know if I should make this numbered or not. I probably will just call it Let's Read Prequel Side Stories. I don't know. Have I already said fuck in this video? Probably. I don't fucking know. So, if you liked it, a like and a subscribe will be groovy. If you didn't, you need to do either one of those things. If you want to click the bell, you can do that as well so that you're notified of future uploads. Because it just won't tell you if you don't. And I will see y'all in the next one. Later.